So I came across this post on Reddit, a person looking for advice on how to create a particular texture. If you take a look at it, it's really just a photo with concentric circles. And there are a lot of recommendations for using plugins and that kind of thing. But I'm going to do an example of this without using plugins and hopefully a method that has a little more flexibility in what we create. So what I'm going to actually do is start with a black and white photo of Miles Davis, and I'm going to create this concentric circle pattern in Illustrator, import that as a smart object into Photoshop, and do the rest of the work there. So I'm going to start, take a look at Photoshop here, and I have a photo of Miles Davis. I just grabbed it from Google. It's only 1,000 pixels square, so my numbers are all going to be kind of low here. But I'm going to start by, let's colorize the image overall. I mean, our original had the concentric circles, but it was a black and blue kind of an image. So I think the simplest way to do that is in Photoshop to take this image, and we'll go down here to our effects and do a gradient overlay. Sorry, not a gradient overlay. I want to use my adjustments and do a gradient map. And you see the gradient map turns it into a negative image. So I'm just going to adjust this. Let's make our lightest color a bright blue. And we'll make our darkest color a dark blue. So we get that nice, real quick duotone kind of effect. So there we are to start. Actually, maybe we'll make this a little bit darker, I think. There we go. All right. Next, I'm going to jump over into Illustrator. And part of the reason that I like this technique is I can create any pattern that I want. I'm going to do the concentric circles, but I could do squares, stars, diamonds, anything else. So I've got an artboard that's 1,000 pixels square, and I am just going to draw out a circle with a black stroke and no fill. And then I'm just going to copy and paste that in front and resize the second one down like about so. Let's select them both. Make sure that we make our strokes the same. I'll make them 2 pixels, 2 points. And then let's go to our blend tool, or I'll go to the object menu. Blend, make, and then I'll just open up my blend options, and I'm just going to change the specified steps, sort of run that up until I find something that I kind of like. Maybe something like that, 78 or so. All right, say okay. Now I'm going to zoom back a little bit because I made this artboard the same size as my Photoshop image, and what I really need is this to cover the whole thing. So let's do that. Let's drop this back down to 2. And I am going to bump this back up to, say, 90. All right. So here's the cool thing about Adobe apps. We can copy and paste between applications. So I'm just going to select this. I'm going to copy it. Jump back over here to my Photoshop file. Into my layers. And let's paste that as a smart object. Say okay. And it's going to fit it to the size of the composition, but then I'm just going to increase it back up so I get the width that I was looking for, all in all. All right. So there we go. And we kind of quickly have the effect, but it can be better. We can blend it. I think on the original effect, I'm not going to go back and reference right now. You know, I kind of want to make this a little bit my own. So, but I do think the concentric circle should blend in with the darkest shadows. So what I'm going to do is go to the Smart Object, down to Effects, Color Overlay, and let's just make sure that we sample a color out of the image so that these will blend. I think I like that. I still get kind of overlapping here, but you know, I think that works all in all. So we'll do that, say okay. Say okay. And now, I mean, kind of the cool thing is that I can do anything I want with this. The original image had a bit of a retro kind of a look and effect. My concentric circles are very, very sharp. So maybe I want to soften those up to match the photo a little bit more. I'm just going to hold down my Option key here and duplicate my concentric circles. Turn that off, drag it below my photo just so I have it. But then I'm just going to select this and rasterize the layer style and then rasterize the layer. Actually, I should have done it all. Okay, so that does it all. And then let's soften these rings just a little bit. So let's go to our filters. Let's go to down here to blur, Gaussian blur, and just take the edge off of them a little bit. So there we've got that effect overall. Now, what I like about this is that I can take with this layer, I can look at different blending modes pretty easily. Maybe I like overlay. Kind of softens it a bit in the brighter areas, but heavies it up in the dark areas. I kind of like that effect. It blends everything a little bit better. Most people probably just drop straight multiply on it and call it a day. But, you know, play around with blending modes. I mean, they give you some unexpected kinds of effects. Difference. I'm going to stick with overlay. I like that look. You know, I can also, what if I or client doesn't like the fact that the lines run all the way through the face, or maybe I want to sort of call out certain highlights. I can drop a mask on that layer, grab my paintbrush, soft, let's drop the size of it a little bit. I'm going to set my opacity is down around 30. So I could, oops, switch to black. Command X or X on the keyboard would have done the same thing. But I can kind of mask some of these areas a little bit. Maybe I want to take it out of there. Maybe I increase this quite a bit. Just so that I, you know, get the lines coming into the shadow areas, but so that they don't affect the face itself so much. That's a nice look. I've got all sorts of options. I mean, maybe I duplicate that and maybe I do set that to a multiply or something and drop the opacity on it quite a bit if I just want to heavy those up just a hair. I can do that. But either way, now I can move on and do, you know, anything else that I wanted. So we started with this concept, and we got there, but then we took it just a little bit farther.